Hey guys, today we are at the Welborn Cemetery, so let's go take a look. The Welborn Cemetery is located south of College Station, and the town of Welborn was originally founded in 1867 along the Houston and Texas Central Rail line. But we are in the cemetery today to actually find a geocache. The cache itself is called Among the Branches. So it looks like we are going to be headed down this road. Looks like it's blocked off for some kind of construction or something over there. This cache is only rated a difficulty 1, terrain 1.5. And it says we are approaching ground zero. And I actually see it right there. If that's not a telltale sign that this is a geocache, obviously the fake bird will. Ah! There's a little guy! And we have found the cache. Looking through the cache contents here, there is a bunch of swag along with a couple of travel bugs. Let me cover up the code. Along with even more swag. Well-maintained caches are definitely one of my favorite things about the hobby. We're gonna go ahead and put this cache back in. I have signed the log and we are ready to roll. Next up in this cemetery, there's also an adventure lab that has been set up. We're gonna switch over to the adventure lab app. And this adventure lab is called Welborn Cemetery Founders and Heroes. So let's take a look. So our very first stop is actually this headstone right here. This tiny grave belongs to Newton Farquhar, who died at just 2 years old in 1874. His burial marked the beginning of the Welborn Cemetery, the first grave ever documented grave placed here. The next location is Adam Reuter. It's gonna be this grave right here. Adam Reuter was a kind man who helped build the town from scratch. Born in Germany in 1829, he came to Texas with dreams of land and freedom. There's a bunch of very cool information about the people and places here. Just a beautiful cemetery. Walking back to the truck, I have actually noticed there's a free little library over here. Courtesy of Girl Scout Troop 9021. And you know we always have to check out the free little libraries in the area. That is always something fun. That's gonna do it for our adventures at the Welborn Cemetery. We are about to change locations. And we are back. We are now at the Salem Cemetery. And we are actually here because there is another cemetery cache. And honestly, we are not that far from Welborn Cemetery. And it shows ground zero is right about here. And yep, I see the cache. Appears to be an old jar. There's the log. And there is a ton of swag in here. So I'm gonna trade out some swag and get the log signed, and I'll be back. And we are now at Woodland Hills Park. We are after a geocache right now called Fat Gus's Feast. And it is a tribute to Fat Gus, who is a YouTube star with millions of views. So if you don't know, this is the squirrel from the Squirrel Maze Olympics. If you can tell right there, it shows the cache is on the complete other side of this field. this sidewalk only brings you up around this way. So we're gonna take a bit of a shortcut. And if you don't know, Aggie Birds is a cacher here in the Brazos Valley who hides some amazing caches. Which means I have some pretty high hopes for this one. All of his caches are always really cool. We are now at ground zero. And I'm not seeing anything. The coordinates do show it a little bit into the woods here. Guys, I have phoned a friend and all they remember about this is that it was hanging in a tree. There's a whole lot of tree for things to be hanging in. But unfortunately, I am not seeing anything. I did spot something over here, but I really don't think it's the cache. So you can see that thing right there. That's definitely not the cache. It just looks like weird old electrical wires. The theme is Fat Gus, which I know is a squirrel. I know he's from a YouTube video. But we are just not having any luck. Wait, freeze. Before I log that DNF, I decided to take one last look. I came around this little trail here that went to the back of it. And look what I have found. That is the cache right there. Guys, that was a successful outing. Really glad I found that. I was getting a little worried there for a minute. So worried that I actually recorded a, oh man, I DNF'd it scene. But nonetheless, here we are. And as I'm leaving this park, I'm actually noticing there's one other cache here. So we are currently walking to ground zero. And this is called the Woodland Hills Park. So it's just the name of the park. And ground zero brings us right about here. Which makes me think it might be under one of these. Yep, and there it is. Let me sign the log. And we are now out at the Stone Forest entryway. We are now looking for a cache called No Matter. So if we head over to ground zero, this is what we are greeted with. So if it's anything like the cache that we just left, it's always good to check all the nooks and all the crannies. I did not see anything there. So we're going to look up inside of each of these. Okay, so update. I just found the cache. Turns out my geosenses are not sensing today. So as you know, we were looking through all of these. Turns out I kept hitting the cache the entire time. So this is what we were looking for. And can we talk about how tiny this little cache is? Also, if you're like me and you don't carry tweezers around, I definitely just always shove the pin into the middle of the log and you can pull it out fairly easily. Guys, that is all for today. I will see y'all in the next video.